Well, this is Rick Peters, good friend of mine and a maker of shaker woodenware, right?
Yes, sir.
This is all made of bent wood and looks like it's very complicated.
It's not. It's really easy to bend wood, and once you learn how, you really can't stop.
What kind of wood you'd use for something like this? You can't just pick any piece of wood. It has to be thin for one thing.
Yeah, the shakers usually use maple or cherry, like this piece here. The key thing is that the wood be quarter sawn, and that means that the grain is straight, and on the ends it's vertical. That allows us to bend it without the wood splitting.
Now, is this something you'd have to cut yourself?
You can, but you'd almost need a thickness sander to get it down to this thinness. Otherwise, if you try it on the planer, it's dangerous. You can also buy it, mail order catalogs, and you can find it on the web.
What's actually the first step you take in constructing one of these?
First thing we're going to do is put a template on the end to create the swallowtails. What we'll do is we'll trace around these, we'll mark the holes for the copper tacks. And now you can cut this out a number of different ways. Again, you can use a scroll saw or a fine-tooth blade, but because it's so thin, you can cut it out with a utility knife.
Next, we drill the holes for the copper tacks using a 3/16" bit. So this is how we're going to actually bend this. This is very hot water, I take it.
You bet.
It looks like that's a planter.
That's just a metal planter box with a shop-made lid on it.
So we're heating that up. Are we ready to drop this in and soften it up?
There's two more things we have to do. The first is that we have to feather sand one end so that when the band wraps around itself, you won't have a thick joint. And we'll do that on a belt disc sander.
Rick uses a sanding block, which not only keeps his fingers away from the belt, but provides the uniform pressure necessary to create a clean, tapered end.
And now, the moment of truth.
Moment of truth.
Yep. Pop it in there.
Yeah.
Watch out for that steam.
All right, just drop it right in, huh?
Yep. You might want to push it down with a pair of tongs or something so it's submerged.
Okay, now how long is this going to cook?
Oh, about 20 minutes.
Ah, I think that's it, huh?
It's soup, yeah.
Whoa, it looks done to me. One piece of cherry wood coming out. Well, you got your gloves on.
I got my gloves on. I'm ready to roll because I've got about a minute to work with this. I'm going to line it up with the start mark.
Now, this is a form that you made up.
Yep.
That out of medium density fiberboard. Look at that. It just wraps right around it. Oh, it loves that shape.
Now, you just got to make sure when you come around to support those fingers because they're going to want to split. Once you get it right there, just hold it for about a minute. Let it get used to that shape because it's going to stay there for a long time. Now, if you do me a favor here, you could just take this pencil and mark
the ends of the
ends. So I have a registration mark.
Okay, so there you go.
So I know where to come back to. Yeah, that's perfect.
Do we have to work fast at this point?
No, we're okay because it's got the. See, it wants to stay in that shape.
Okay.
I'm just going to bend it back, and I'm going to line those marks up.
The pencil marks that we just
pencil
made.
marks that we just made. I'm going to come over here.
Now this is a little jig that you made up?
It's just a couple of pieces of 2x4. Now I'm going to hold this directly over the anvil. I'm going to take one of these little tacks. I'm going to put it in the pilot holes we drilled earlier.
Now what's happening right now?
Well, it's going through. When that tack hits the anvil, it's going to cinch and flip over. And that's what's going to hold it.
Just a piece of black pipe.
Piece of black pipe.
That is so nice.
Right, now what we want to do is to keep it in that shape, we're going to take a plug here. It's basically just a tapered piece of wood, and we're going to put it in there. And that's what you want to hear, that kind of crunchy sound. That means it's
like my new pair of shoes.
Nice and tight.
And how long does this have to dry?
Overnight's fine.
Overnight.
Yep.
So this is one that you did yesterday and brought with you. This is all dry now.
Totally dry.
So these come out?
Yep.
Can I pull them out?
Yep, you can.
I see why you want the holes in
there. There you go. You'll never get them out otherwise.
So this is out. All right. Next step.
Bottom. And trace around the inside.
Okay, so this will be cut on the bandsaw?
Cut on the bandsaw.
You mind if I give it a whirl?
Go right ahead.
You think it's going to fit, huh?
It should go in there.
Okay, let's see. Just drop it right in. Oh, that is nice.
Yeah. Squeaky right there.
Oh,
yeah.
Look at that. Wow.
We're going to hold that in there with dowels. Actually, the dowels are toothpicks. And we're going to drill some holes in it, in the edge, around the perimeter. We're going to stay away from the ends because if you drill down in here, that's at the highest stress point. It's going to have a tendency to snap. I'll just take a toothpick.
Drive it in.
Yep.
We tap in the toothpicks, snap off the protruding ends with wire cutters, then sand down the nubs. Okay, so the pins are in.
Yep.
What's next?
Handle.
Handle. Okay.
It's a slightly thicker blank here. It's about 1/8 of an inch.
Still cherry.
Yep. Same thing we're gonna do like we did last time. There it is. It's woo.
Okay.
It's steamy.
Ballpark frame.
There you go.
Okay. So I'm gonna lay it right along the edge of this.
Right up the end.
Clamp it on here. Okay. I'm going to bend this around.
Support that. Support it as you bend it.
Support it as I bend it.
In other words, wrap your hand, cup it around it as it bends.
It's going. It's going. It's going.
Do that.
Okay. And you'll grab it there. That is amazing. All right, so this is on here now. How long does this have to stay?
That's an overnight or two.
Overnight or two. What do you want to stay 3 days?
Yeah, that's what I'm planning.
You wouldn't have one of these that's already done, would you?
Well, actually, I just haven't had one. And when we do these, we're going to lay it down on its side and actually hammer from the inside.
Okay.
And then after the tacks are in place, we'll take it over to the little anvil and then cinch them.
Well, sir, I do believe we have a basket.
We do, indeed, and it looks very nice.
It turned out great.